Hey everyone, this is Jesus Figueroa at ThisFunktional of ThisFunktional.com, and today let's talk Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights 2024. I got to do the preview night and I got to go through all the mazes. It was a fun time. And today I'm gonna discuss a little of what seemed to be the most efficient way to get through all the mazes because there is a lot this year. Here is the best way I saw to get through all the mazes. Most of the time, I start by going all the way to the back and starting from the back, working my way front. So that means going to the lower section of the park. I would say to start things off, you should and first go to Dead Exposure Death Valley, an original concept house with petrifying radioactive zombies. This maze is right next to the escalator. So once you get off the escalator, right to your left is Dead Exposure's line. It did have a bit of a line, but it is not too much of a walk in this maze. It is a fun maze. There's a couple of really good jump scares in there. The zombies are cool. There's animal zombies as well, which is kind of bizarre, but it's bizarre in a good way. Overall, this maze I think is a 3 out of 5 screams. Not necessarily the best maze, but it is a fun short walk to through this maze. Second, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Legacy of Leatherface. Once you get out of Dead Exposure, this line is right at the exit of this, so it's a really easy choice to make to go to this one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Legacy of Leatherface, which pays tribute to the 50th anniversary of the iconic maniacal monster. We've seen Leatherface several times in the past for Halloween Horror Nights. It's not a bad maze. It does have a couple of good jump scares. The smell in there is very strong. It might bother some people. I think it's a 3 out of 5 screams for me. It's consistently a good maze for Halloween Horror Nights. Leatherface is a classic monster or character, so it's not a bad maze to go through. The Weeknd's Nightmare Trilogy, an immersive experience curated by the multi-award winning artist, is the next maze. Once you get out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Weeknd Nightmare Trilogy line is right there. So might as well hop into that. It's probably the maze that most people are going to Halloween Horror Nights for. It is a good maze. It is a great end to this trilogy. I think this is the last one. I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely is a good maze going forward for this franchise. It's a 5 out of 5 for my guess. She thought that this was the best maze of the night. I wasn't disagreeing with her, but at the same time, for me, the terror tram is always the best part of it. I guess that's not necessarily maze. It's more, it's a terror tram. It's a different production on its own. This is the longest maze or traditional maze. It is about a 6 minute walk through. There's a couple of different elements to this one as well. It has a funhouse mirrored section, which is really cool. You get a lot more of the Weeknd's darker music in this, so this is also like a really fun walk. The Weeknd does an amazing job with the music in this, and it is very much probably the one maze that I think will have the longest line. After that, Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines, an all-female monster-led haunted house inspired by Universal Pictures' classic monsters, featuring music by Slash. This one, Universal Monsters last year was all male, so having this be all female was really cool. The monsters are awesome. It is curated or not curated. It is starring Van Helsing. So that was really cool. For me, this is a 4 out of 5. I thought the scares were good, the monsters were good, and the music is great. I think Slash is fantastic at curating the music for this and creating a new element to a horror maze. So Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines is a really good maze to go through, and that will end everything at the lower, except if you want to go to the Weeknd bar, which is really cool. It was full when I was there. So if you want to get a drink, it'll take you a couple of minutes to get to the front of the line, but the drinks there are good. Going upstairs for more mazes, the Terror Tram entered the Blumhouse, a terrifying experience taking fans on a close encounter with characters from Blumhouse Productions' popular franchises, including Megan, The Black Phone, Freaky, The Purge, and Happy Death Day. I think all these movies are really good. They all have their different elements. So putting all these different elements into one maze was really a great idea. For me, the Terror Tram was a 5 out of 5. I think this is what people should go for. I think this is a not you can't miss this Terror Tram. It is an awesome little storyline. It is a great little walk. I think this was shorter than last year actually, but it is a good 9 to 10 minute walk. Plus the tram ride. It's a really good maze. There's a lot of things going on in this maze. And if you have the RIP or VIP tickets, or you get to go into the VIP room and take pictures with some of the characters from this maze, which I think is a cool element to end the terror tram. Before get back on the tram, come back to the park and continue on, you get to take some photos for social media, which is also always an awesome thing to do. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and Insidious, the further, are interchangeable. They're both at the end of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Either one you could do next, but Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, inspired by Sony Pictures' latest installment of the Ghostbusters franchise, wasn't bad, but it wasn't the greatest. I think for being called the Frozen Empire, it was an extremely hot maze to go through. Once again, it's a really quick walk. It's maybe 4 to 5 minutes, maybe three, even if you get caught with a faster group. There's not much to this maze. Ghostbusters is usually a really cool concept. I think the movies are awesome. I've been a fan since the first movie, so Ghostbusters is pretty cool. But this maze just didn't do it for me. So it's a 3 out of 5 screams. Not it might have been a 2, but there's some elements to this that were really cool. I thought the ending of the maze was probably the best part of it. Insidious Into the Further, based on the latest film in the hit supernatural horror film series produced by Blumhouse Productions, is in association with Sony Pictures. Insidious is cool. It has a lot of different elements. It has good jump scares that come out of nowhere at points. One of the coolest part about this maze is I was stuck between people screaming, so that was something that made the maze even better. I think it's a 3 out of 5 screams. There could have been more to it. Once again, it's another quick walk, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. It could have had a couple of things more. It could have included more creatures. It could have given us a little more scares. One of the ones the mazes that I thought would be of interest to people was A Quiet Place. I wasn't sure how this was gonna play out and what we were supposed to do, but A Quiet Place, a terrifying new experience based on Paramount Pictures' critically acclaimed franchise that will incorporate American Sign Language into a haunted house for the very first time. I think that's what took it over the top. I think this is definitely a 4 out of 5 screams. This maze really did do it. We have a couple of survivors of this universe in that maze. There's a noise that gets made for creatures to pop out, which is super cool. It's awesome to have people using sign language to guide you through the maze. It's not always silent. There is music playing, but you get other things like creaking and glass breaking or other elements that are cause both a jump scare and then cause for a creature to come out. So it's a pretty cool maze. It's still only a 3 out of 5 for me. I guess it's difficult to get people to hit certain spots, so more monsters could pop out. Monstros 2: The Nightmares of Latin America, a sequel to the 2023 hit Haunted House, was pretty cool once again. It does incorporate more creatures from the Latin folklore, so that's awesome. We have a Spanglish speaking person creature in the front introducing the house. It brings those waiting in line to an element of this house. You have the luchadores monstruos outside of that house, which is just another thing that encapsulates this story world better. I think this is a 4 out of 5 screams. It's got good jump scares. It incorporates different elements from Latin America. It's not just one section of Latin America. It goes throughout a lot. So yeah, it's a fun walkthrough. It's about 5 minutes, so it's not the longest, but it's also not the shortest. Um, then that's all the mazes. If you follow this guideline, you will end up right at the center of the top section of Universal Studios Hollywood. The scare zones, Luchadores Monstruosos, an all new scare zone. I give that a 4 out of 5. I think most of the time when you get luchadores, you get heroes. You see them you don't see them as villains. You don't see them as monsters. You see them as heroes, and this is a really good spin on it. Um, Next scare zone is the Skull Lords, a scare zone featuring a gothic-inspired royal court of the dead. It was pretty cool. Their look is pretty cool, but once again, a 3 out of 5 screams. It could have done more. There could have been more, and these scare actors were mostly going after women, and I think that's kind of that kind of sucks. You know, as a guy, I like getting scared too. So like they could have done more. Uh, Chainsaw Punks did the same thing. Chainsaw Punks, a troop of chainsaw killers, will confront guests as they enter the event or they exit. They're right in that main corridor. Once again, I was trying to be as distracted as possible so I can get scared, but no, like they would go after women, and the more they screamed, the more they chased after them. So once again, a 3 out of 5 for them. Murder crows, a flock of menacing crow stilt walkers will terrify guests. These are outside of the wizarding world of Harry Potter. They're pretty cool. They look menacing. They look terrifying. They walk around and scare people. They take pictures with people. It is a pretty cool element to Halloween Horror Nights. I give them a 4 out of 5 screams. It's fun. It's scary. It's more than just getting people to scream. It brings a story element to this entire thing. Thanks for watching. I am once again Jesus Figueroa at ThisFunktional of ThisFunktional.com. Check out more of my stuff at ThisFunktional.com. ThisFunktionale.com. Follow me on social media at ThisFunktional on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. Check out more of my videos at youtube.com/thisfunctional. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.